Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan with Ledger Sport. How are you doing today? In this video, we are going to talk about what should you do if you lose your 24-word recovery phrase. Let's do it. So just a quick word on what is your 24-word recovery phrase. It is the list of words that is unique and given to you when you first set up your Ledger Nano device. This phrase actually represents all your private keys. This means that anyone with access to your 24-word recovery phrase can also have access to your accounts and spend your funds. So it's super important to never share your 24-word recovery phrase with anyone. Otherwise, they might be able to steal your funds. Now, let's just assume that my 24-word recovery phrase, the one I just lost, secures the private keys to access this Bitcoin account, the one that's showing on your screen right now. The problem is, if anyone can find my 24-word recovery phrase, they could buy a new device or download any software wallet, type my recovery phrase into that device or wallet, and then be able to access my Bitcoin account and spend my funds. Of course, I don't want this to happen. Okay, now we understand the importance of the 24-word recovery phrase. There are two different scenarios that we're going to cover. The first scenario is I still have access to my Ledger device. And this Ledger device is, of course, the one that secures the recovery phrase that I just lost. In this case, I'll be able to save my funds. However, if I don't have access to this device, let's say I lost both the recovery phrase and the device, in this case, unfortunately, I will not be able to access my funds. My funds are lost unless I can find the device or unless I can find the recovery phrase. Unfortunately, Ledger cannot help you in this situation because we don't have access to your recovery phrase, which means we cannot move your funds for you. In this video today, we are going to look at the second scenario. That's the scenario where I lost my recovery phrase, but I still have access to the device and I still know the PIN code to unlock my device. So I know now that if anyone accesses my 24-word recovery phrase before I do, they'll be able to access my Bitcoin and steal it. So what I need to do is to send my Bitcoin to third-party accounts, which are safe, reset my device so I can create a new recovery phrase, use my device and Ledger Live to create new accounts, and then send the Bitcoin back to this new Bitcoin account that is secured by the new recovery phrase. This is the general game plan to secure my funds. And of course, as you can tell, everything depends on the recovery phrase. The device is not that important. What matters is who controls your private keys. And because your recovery phrase controls your private keys, whomever has access to those private keys has access to your accounts. So crypto custody with a Ledger device is really how well you can protect your recovery phrase, not how well you can protect your device. Although it's also important to keep your device private because anyone with access to the device plus your PIN code could also access your accounts. But I would say that the recovery phrase is even more important. So the first thing I'll need to do is to send my Bitcoin to a safe third-party account. Now, here I'm assuming that I don't have a second Ledger device, but if you do have a second device with its own recovery phrase, then I could move the Bitcoin to that device instead. In my case, I don't have that option, so I've elected to send my Bitcoin to one of my exchange accounts, in this case, Crypto.com. So what I want to do is create a transaction from Ledger Live to my Bitcoin account on Crypto.com. So I would go to Crypto.com, deposit, select the Bitcoin network, copy the address, and then put that into Ledger Live and create a transaction to send my Bitcoin to Crypto.com. Okay, so I'm in Ledger Live. I'm going to empty my account. Go into account, click send, paste the safe account address in there, continue, then send max, continue. Now I've sent all of my Bitcoin to a safe account. So my funds are safe as long as my Crypto.com account is not accessed. There is one very important step before I reset my device. I want to remove my compromised account from Ledger Live. And this makes sense because I don't have a backup for the private keys for this account anymore because I lost my 24-word recovery phrase. So I don't want to send more funds to an account that's compromised. I'm going to click on the account, click Edit, and click Remove from Portfolio and confirm. So now all my Ledger accounts are empty. I can safely reset the device and create new private keys. The way to do it is to type 3 wrong pins into the device. Let me show you how this works. I've switched my device off and back on again. And now I am on the lock screen. What I want to do is type 3 wrong pin codes into the device. You can see the device is about to reset now. It says invalid pin, device reset. I'm going to use the right button. Then it says, please restore the device from your recovery sheet. Because I don't have my recovery sheet, my only option is to create a new recovery phrase. So this is what I'm going to do now. So I'm on the welcome screen here, you can see it. I'm going to go ahead and select setup as new device to get a new 24-word recovery phrase. Let me show you how it works. Select setup as new device. I'm going to choose a pin. I chose the same pin as my old pin. It doesn't really matter what pin you choose as long as it's secure. Now I'm going to get my new recovery phrase. So I want to secure that one very carefully. I have a recovery sheet with me that's blank, and I'm going to go ahead and write my words. I'm about to write the first word of my new recovery phrase. So I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, I'm almost done creating my new recovery phrase. I'm on word number 24. And now I'm going to verify my recovery phrase to make sure I backed it up correctly. So I'll see you when I'm done. Great. I am almost done confirming my 24-word recovery phrase. I'm on the last word, which should be zebra. I'm going to select zebra. And now the device is telling me that my recovery phrase is set. Keep it in a secure place. If lost, stolen, or forgotten, your asset will be lost. Never share it. Ledger will never ask you for it. And then press both buttons to continue. Now it's processing, as you can see here. And now my device is ready. I have a new safe recovery phrase that is completely unique. So all the accounts that I'm going to create with my device going forward will be secured by my new recovery phrase. I can go ahead and reinstall a Bitcoin account, and then I'll go into crypto.com and send my Bitcoin back to this new account. I'm going to click add account, choose Bitcoin, continue. Ledger Live is going to install the Bitcoin app on my device. Okay, now I need to open the app on my device. Ledger Live is creating a brand new Bitcoin account, which is secured by my new recovery phrase. So basically my old recovery phrase, the one I lost, doesn't secure anything else. So it doesn't really matter if someone finds it now. All the accounts are empty. Here's my new account. I'm going to call it new Bitcoin account. And I'm going to select add account. Great, you can see this account is completely empty, of course, it's a new account. Now what I want is create a deposit address and send my Bitcoin back from crypto.com to this new account. Let me click on the account, receive, continue. Here's my deposit address. Of course, I need to verify it on the screen to make sure they match. Seems like they match, approve. And I can go ahead and use this address to send my Bitcoin from the exchange crypto.com to this new account. I'm back in crypto.com and I'm about to add my new Bitcoin account address. I want to make sure I select the BTC network because by default the BEP20 network is selected, so I want the BTC network. Here's the address of my new Ledger account. And I'm going to go ahead and whitelist this address, and then I'll send the Bitcoin that is on the exchange back to the new Ledger account. And boom, you can see the Bitcoin is back into my new Ledger account. There is absolutely nothing else I need to do at this point, but to make sure that I secure my new recovery phrase very carefully so I don't lose it again. Regarding the old recovery phrase, now it doesn't really matter if someone finds it or not. It only secures accounts that are now empty, so this is not a security risk for me. Of course, going forward, I'll need to protect and keep my new recovery phrase secret and private. There is an article on the Help Center that could help you with best practices when it comes to protecting a recovery phrase. You can look it up. It's called How to Keep My 24-Word Recovery Phrase and PIN Code Safe. What I can recommend is to invest into a metal seed storage solution to back up your recovery phrase. That's much better and more robust than backing it up on a piece of card. There is a few metal seed storage solutions that we sell on ledger.com. You can look it up. My personal favorite, but also the most expensive, is the Cryptotag Zeus, but it's worth the price because it's a very good way to protect your recovery phrase. I use it myself. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video and that you learned something. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us via the support page on ledger.com. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at ledger_support. That's ledger_support. Or you can drop your questions in the comments below. Have a good day, guys, and take care. Bye.